It's time. Yeah, it's time. It's time to rock and roll with my friends.
That's right. It is time to rock and roll with our friends.
Yeah, with all of the friends of the world who are listening.
Not just America, even though this is American Brews and Tunes.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity-beeby-dow!
Sorprendido.
Oh, don't you know that's true?
I do know. I believe what
does
it said
that
was
mean?
surprise in Spanish, I think.
Oh, okay.
It was a big sorprendido, or a sorprendido grande. I could be incorrect. I took 5 years of Spanish in high school, and I barely remember anything.
Really?
Yep.
Do you just remember, like, regular phrases, like key phrases?
I remember some words, some phrases, and stuff like that, but my Spanish teacher, my last year, was really off-putting, so I didn't care about Spanish anymore.
That's not good.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
She was the worst.
She was one of those teachers.
Yeah. The first 4 years, we had Senorita Lenski. She was great. The last year, we had, I don't even know what her name was. We just called her Senora.
You forgot what her name was.
Senora stick up her butt. That's because that's what she seemed like to me. But enough of the Spanish talk. This is another fun episode of American Brews and Tunes. My name is Stephen Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
That's right. And for the past 2 weeks, we did one-off episodes. What did we do? The Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's, and what was the other album?
Before that, we did...
we did something. Who knows? But it was another one-off episode. And now we're back to our regularly scheduled format, which is where we each review an album for the other, and we come back and listen to them. So for the past, like 3, 4...
Probably 3 weeks at least.
3 weeks at least, I've been listening to Merriweather Post Pavilion by the strange band that is Animal Collective. I guess the collective that is Animal Collective.
That is Animal Collective, yeah.
And you have been listening to?
And I've been listening to A Shipwreck in the Sand by the band Silverstein.
Yeah.
Or as other people say it, Silverstein.
Silverstein. Yeah. And like our regularly formatted episodes, we each have our own different beer to try.
Oh, yes, we do.
So before we talk about the music, why don't we talk about our beers?
Let's do it.
We each have different ones, so
yeah.
I'll share mine first. Show and tell. Okay. Time to share, everybody.
You'll be telling everybody else, but just showing me.
Yes. So I'll show you with my words.
But
Jesse
potentially,
will see with his...
Whenever you hear the name of the beer, you could look it up.
You could, or if you already know the beer, maybe a picture will pop into your head. Or even if you don't know the beer, maybe a picture will pop into your head.
True.
Anyways, this brewery...
Let your imagination take you where it will.
Imagination. Trademark SpongeBob.
Yeah, trademark SpongeBob.
Okay, so this is a brewery I don't think either of us have had on the podcast before. I've had them before because it's from my home state.
Oh, okay.
But from the other side of the state. It's from Philadelphia, and the brewery is Yards.
Many of us have them. Some of us want them.
True.
Football fields have 100 of them.
Oh, goodness gracious. Anyways, Yards is an American unit of measurement. And I believe these guys do a lot of American things.
Really? What do you mean?
Like traditional. It's from Philly, so like they have like a George Washington tavern ale or
in terms of the names of their beers.
Yeah, so they've got like a George Washington, like something like that.
I thought you meant they just do
or
like
the tavern porter. So it seems like colonial style beers.
Okay,
is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. I thought you meant they just like do American things.
No, it was a weird reference, a very weird way to phrase what I was trying to get across.
Yes.
I've had quite a few of their brews, and I like them a lot.
Okay.
The first brew I ever had from them was the Yards Brawler, and I can't remember if that's an English special bitter or if it's just a lager. Either way, it was a really easy drinking beer.
I remember you having that one. I think it was an English special bitter.
It was really good. It's been a long time since I've had it. But this week, however, I am having the Cape of Good Hope Double IPA. It says underneath, an intrepid ale. Ooh. Intrepid.
That sounds intriguing.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this because like I said before, I've had English special bitters, I've had lagers, I've had their porters, their tavern ales, Never an IPA, let alone an Imperial IPA.
Let alone a double IPA.
And I believe this clocks in at a pretty high gravity, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yes, it comes in at 9.7%.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is fairly up there.
Yeah, let me read this little description real quick.
All right.
Legend has it that pioneering brewers added more hops to help their ales survive epic sea voyages around the Cape of Good Hope.
Oh.
There's how they get their
Where is
title.
that Cape?
I have no idea.
I know.
Cape Philly? I don't know.
Cape Philly.
This West Coast style double IPA is our tribute to adventurous brewers and intrepid souls like you.
Ooh.
So on those balmy nights when you're far from home, take solace in the Cape of Good Hope. Just beware of tigers. Visit yardsbrewing.com for this year's hop selection. So I'm assuming the hop variety switches every year.
Changes every year. Okay.
Just beware
Gotcha.
of tigers. Are there tigers in India?
Probably,
Or on the
yeah.
Cape of Good Hope? I have
I
no
don't know
idea.
what the Cape of Good Hope is.
I don't. We'll research later.
And I don't have my phone, so I can't look it up.
Yeah, and I don't want to text or look things up, even though I probably could right now. Or when you're talking about your beer, I'll look
It's
it
all
up.
good, yeah.
So what are you having this week?
I'm having another Oktoberfest.
What?
Yes, except this one I'm very excited for because
You weren't excited for the other one?
well, I was also excited for that one, but
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
even more excited for this one.
Okay.
It's from the brewery Sierra Nevada.
Great brewery.
A great brewery. Shout out Sierra Nevada. You guys are awesome. But this one is special because it's brewed in collaboration with Weihenstephan.
Weihenstephan?
Weihenstephan.
Weihenstephaner.
Weihenstephan.
It's the oldest brewery in the world.
In the world, yeah.
Founded
So-
in 1040.
Yes, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, great Bavarian brewery.
Do they do it and they brew their Oktoberfest in collaboration with different breweries every year, right?
Sierra Nevada, that is.
Yeah, Sierra Nevada
So every year
does.
they do an Oktoberfest, and they partner with a different German or Bavarian or some type of foreign brewery to create their Oktoberfest.
Yeah, so this one is with the oldest brewery in the world.
That's awesome. I've had a couple brews from Weihenstephan.
Yeah, and they've been good.
Yeah.
So
Weihenstephaner? Weihenstephan? I don't know.
It's spelled,
Who knows?
It's
Who cares?
spelled Weihenstephan. So any of you German peeps out there, you probably know how to pronounce it.
And side note, Cape of Good Hope is in Cape Town, South Africa.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Tigers, I guess. I don't know. Maybe tigers are there.
Probably. They're more likely to be there than
Beware
here.
of tigers.
Yeah. But continue with your brew, yeah?
All right. Here we go.
Okay, let's go.
We've partnered with Bavaria's Weihenstephan, the world's oldest brewery, for this American take on the classic German Oktoberfest.
Ja.
Oh ja, das ist gut, ja?
Sehr gut. Ja.
A malt backbone is balanced by subtle hop character in this crisp, clean, and drinkable crowd pleaser.
It best be drinkable.
Nothing captures the spirit of celebration like a brew or a beer among friends.
That's true.
Wow.
And this
Way
is
to go, Sierra Nevada.
And Oktoberfest brews are celebratory in nature, just
Yeah.
because of the history and whatnot.
So here's to our 54th episode.
Yes, our 54th. So let us crack these brews and pour them, shall we?
Yes, let us.
I think our beers are going to be very different.
You know what? I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one.
Unless the breweries decided to make like a really
Like a really
off-flavored
late
Oktoberfest or a really hoppy, like a not so hoppy double IPA, they're going to be extremely different.
or a really late April Fool's joke.
Maybe they brewed it in April and it's actually an appropriate April Fool's joke. The punchline's just delayed. Like someone was at the brewery and they were like pouring all the ingredients in when they were doing the mash or whatever. And then someone's like, I'm going to throw in 300 times the amount of hops. April Fools.
And it's like their master plan, their master evil scheme to
That's-
ruin everybody's Oktoberfest enjoyment.
I know, right? Mine's a little cloudy, actually.
Yours is. Mine is crystal clear.
Yours is crystal clear, like I would expect from an Oktoberfest, but yours is amber, in
It's kind
color.
of like an amber, copper, light brown color.
Mine smells delicious.
Light orange.
It's
Orange brown.
Mine smells like really crisp and clean, but West Coast IPA at the same time, if that makes sense.
Mine smells kind of how I thought it would smell.
Malty?
Well, being that it's brewed in collaboration with Weihenstephanen. Because normally, like German lagers, they don't have like a super strong smell. It's a very subtle smell. At least that's what I've realized.
That's
so
a good
this one
realization.
has a really subdued, kind of subtle maltiness to the smell of it.
Word. So why don't you say we cheers these and give them a try?
Yes. For all of you imbibing, join us in the celebratory cheers we do every single episode.
Forget it. Everybody join with us. Drink or no drink.
Shibbity-beep-doo!
Wow. This is great. This is potent. I think mine is probably way more potent than yours is.
Yeah, mine's coming in at 6%.
Yeah,
Not quite as high.
The booziness kind of lingers in the aftertaste, but up front, it's clean and aggressively West Coast, just like the smell. So it's pretty spot on with the smell and the taste, which isn't always the case.
I wouldn't expect it to be so West Coast with how cloudy it is.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't taste like a hazy IPA. I'm not really sure why that's like that.
Mine also tastes really good.
Yeah. I'm very happy with this.
As I kind of expected, the maltiness is really subtle, and then some of the more flavors that are normal with a Märzen or an Oktoberfest comes through at the end, like that caramely sweetness, but not as like aggressive as some other Oktoberfests that I've had. So it's balanced pretty well.
Made to have multiple. You can sit in an Oktoberfest eating a pretzel, drinking a couple of those.
Yeah.
Definitely. Whereas this beer that I have, probably not so much.
No.
You're going to have one of these at a hipster craft beer bar. Or anywhere. Let's not limit ourselves, you guys.
Do you want to do a little switch ski?
Yeah, let's do a little switch ski. Weep, whoop. Zoop, 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 zoop. Switch. Yep, the smell's pretty...
Yeah, your smell's pretty good. Just like what you said.
Oh, that is really good. I would get this.
Whoa.
Do you taste what I mean? Like really on that the Yards beer, it's really crisp and aggressive at first, and then you get that little bit of the lingering booziness on the
I get like a weird, like a little bit of like a minty taste.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't get any mint, but I'll have to go in for another taste later to see.
Weird.
Maybe it's the taste of tigers.
Yeah, look out for those tigers. I've got double mint gum or spearmint gum or something.
Shall we move on to the music?
Yeah, how about I go first?
All right, you go first.
All right. All right, so I'm reviewing this crazy weird album by the band Silverstein. Called A Shipwreck in the Sand. This is a concept album.
Yes, it is. Had you listened to Silverstein prior to this really at all?
Other
Other than what I showed you?
No, except for that one song that you showed me. You're like, oh, check out this weird guitar part.
Yeah.
And it was weird.
And all of my friends liked Silverstein in like maybe late middle school, early high school, and I really wasn't on board too much. In this album, my buddy sent to me when I was in early college, maybe late freshman or early sophomore year. And I liked the concept a lot, and I really got into it. And I really liked all the releases that they put out after this album, but I'm still not too terribly into their earlier stuff as much. Yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't been listening to them forever, but for a solid, I've been listening to them for like the past 7 or 8 years, so that's a while, I guess.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah. I feel like I haven't, even because I wasn't as early on the train with them as all my friends were.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Gotcha. So I'll just say a couple of things before I start framing the concept and the
narrative
album in general. This type of music is not my favorite.
It's like emo.
It's like emo,
post-hardcore.
Yeah, post-hardcore, like emo, scream.
Pop. It's got some elements of pop.
Yeah, they blend. One thing they do very well on this album is they do blend like heavier, like metal riffs with really melodic pop lines.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I think the music is like composed well, and the melodies are nice. I just don't really like it.
It's not your cup of tea.
It's not my style, yeah. But I can still appreciate that. Like they obviously took their time with it and did a good job, like with the music.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth a merit. And I always like, with a solid concept album, I like the fact that even if there's like a less strong song on the album, as long as it contributes to the narrative or the concept, I can appreciate it more than if there wasn't that concept there.
Yeah, and I think all the songs do that. I mean, I would argue that
there's like maybe one or
maybe
two
that don't.
There's one in particular that I think doesn't fit to the narrative, but it's also one of my favorite songs on the album.
Okay, yeah.
So that's a rare occasion.
We'll see whenever we get to that. So basically, the concept of this album is about a failed marriage due to, well, I guess...
Idolatry, I suppose?
I can just get into the story.
Adultery.
An affair of sorts.
Yes.
So we have a couple of characters in this concept, in this play, if you will.
A narrative, how about?
Yeah. In this narrative.
Yeah.
We have the protagonist who plays the husband.
He's a pro.
Or if you want to go with one of the songs, he's the captain.
Of the ship.
You decide. Is it wrecked yet? I don't know. Is it going to be in the sand or in the ocean? Never mind. Anyway,
I see what you're trying to do.
Another character is his wife, who's his wife. And
yes.
Then there's another character who I won't say who it is yet, because that is, who knows, maybe we'll figure out who this person is later.
His daughter?
Well, there's also, his daughter's another character, but she's kind of a minor role.
Okay. Those are at least the three you find out in the first song.
True. Which is called A Great Fire.
Yes.
And it's part, I looked this up on Wikipedia, and this, the tracks are split into 4 chapters.
Yeah.
So chapter 1 is called It Burns Within Us All. It Burns Within Us All.
Okay.
That's what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I believe you.
So track number 1 is A Great Fire. I gave it 3.5 out of 5. It starts off the story with the main character, the protagonist, saving his wife and daughter from a burning house.
Mm-hmm. And his own burning house, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that yet. We might.
I can't remember. I think it's safe to assume
that it's his house.
Yeah.
Since they're in there.
Yeah, they were in their bedrooms or whatever.
And during the song, he goes into... This is kind of the only song where he talks about his daughter. He's like, there you were, 6 years old, like your hair full of ash. And like he's talking about how she's seen so much pain and how many years that she's been alive, referring to all like the bad things that have happened between him and his wife, like fights and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I guess A Great Fire kind of not only talks about the actual fire in the house, but probably also in their relationship. So with that, on to the next part of the story in chapter 1, track number 2, Vices. I gave it 4 out of 5 and recommended it.
Oh, that's a surprise.
It's got a super catchy chorus, but this is the story where this is the song where we kind of learn more about the story, about the situation that's happening.
Oh, Jersey Shore, the situation.
No. Not
Mike,
Jersey
the situation.
Shore. No.
Looks like we got a situation on our hands.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Sorry.
So, in this song, the protagonist learns that his wife is cheating on him with another man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not cool.
He talks about being able to hear through like hotel walls or something like that.
Yeah, he can hear it through the walls.
Yeah. He can hear it through the walls. He can talk to walls.
Dun.
Just kidding. Has a super catchy chorus. And he basically, the song is about him coping with learning about this. And so he talks about him drinking 7 and 7 with a lime. Mm-hmm. He's like, he's going out tonight. He's not going to come back home to sleep with the devil. I can't do his scream.
I did not talk about. His is like, I can't do his voice either.
But he says like, I'm not coming home tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna sleep on the streets. Mm-hmm. I'm not coming home tonight. I don't want to sleep with the devil.
Yeah.
So he's like figured it out. Like his initial reaction is to go out and get drunk
7 and 7.
Try to cope with this.
Yeah, I've had a couple 7 and 7s because of this song, because I was like, that sounds interesting. And I like them. You know what it is, right?
That's 7 Up and Seagram's.
It's Seagram's number 7 and 7 Up, yeah.
With a lime.
Yeah.
But on to track number 3, which is my next recommendation. This is the only song I gave 5 out of 5.
Wow.
Because it has the least amount of screaming in it.
Oh, gosh.
That's not the only reason. I think it's super catchy. The chorus is like, my mind's made up.
And what's the song called?
Oh, Broken Stars.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a catchy song.
It's a super, super catchy song. I believe in this song, he is like kind of trying to tell himself that he's going to do the right thing in light of what he's learned.
Yeah.
About what his wife's doing. I mean, that's pretty much it. I just think it's so catchy, and I just like the fact that there's only screaming at the end of the song.
Yeah. Aren't there other songs that don't have any screaming at all?
Well, yeah, but those are like instrumentals.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so.
Anyway, on to chapter 2 of this album, Liars, Cheaters, and Thieves.
Which is track number what? Oh, that's the
chapter 2 is starting with
right.
track number 4. It's called American Dream. I give it 3.5 out of 5.
I like this song a lot.
It's pretty good. I don't know.
Pretty good.
It's kind of a song expanding on what the last song was about wanting to try to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Because like his American dream wasn't to lie and cheat, and whatnot.
That's nobody's American dream, except for the liars and cheaters
and thieves.
Yeah. I do like. It starts off with that weird little beginning intro part.
Yeah.
And then that kind of fades, and he starts with the main like verse melody with just the bass guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like that part a lot in the song.
Yeah.
And the melody comes back later, but not the same.
Yeah.
With the full instrumentation, but I just really like when it comes with just vocals and bass guitar.
Yeah. But anyway, on track number 5, it's a shorter song, almost an instrumental, but not really. They're like a couple lines.
They're in like the background.
Yeah, but basically they're saying like, fly away, leave the past behind.
What's the song called?
Their lips sink ships.
That they do.
Those lips, probably.
Yeah.
His wife. His wife.
His wife
and the mystery man that we don't know who it is yet.
Mystery Man. Did you ever see the movie Mystery Men?
No.
Starring William H. Macy. It was like they're like superheroes, but like not really. Like his superpower was like digging. He was like the mole.
Was he like
or something.
Dig Dug or something like that?
No, he was. I think he called himself the Mole.
I
can't remember who. Ben Stiller might have been in it. I can't remember.
Mystery Man. No,
Kel Mitchell from Keenan and Kel was in it.
Really?
His superpower was he could be invisible, but he had to be naked and no one could be looking at him.
That's not a superpower.
It was actually a really good movie, but it kind of flew under the radar.
Really?
Yeah, it's worth watching.
I feel like maybe you've told me about it before,
Probably.
and so we should watch it.
It's a good one. I should find it somewhere, but
yeah,
that's a side note, I guess.
Definitely a side note, but a note worth citing.
Yes. I agree that I should have cited that note. But let's come back to the regular side.
Anyway, back to the album. On to track number 6. Just a song called I Knew I Couldn't Trust You.
Trust who?
His wife. He knew he couldn't trust his wife.
Is it his wife?
Yeah, I think so.
I always thought it was someone else.
Oh, actually, you could be right.
I'm fairly positive it was always about the someone else.
The mystery man.
Yeah.
You know what? I think you're right.
From what I remember.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
That makes more sense. The song talks about him being able to see the deceit on his face.
Yeah.
And like clearly he is hiding something because like he has his arms crossed and he's like not making eye contact and whatnot.
Who's not?
Someone.
But there's definitely a confrontation.
There's confrontation on the horizon. But we'll get to that later. Track number 7 is called Born Dead. This is one of the songs that is a part of the whole story, but also kind of not.
Yeah, I would just say it's not.
It's not. I mean, in this song,
maybe.
This is a political song. He's criticizing the healthcare system in this song.
In the U.S., more like probably because they're Canadian. I don't know if you knew that.
Right.
And Canada has universal healthcare.
Yeah.
So maybe he's criticizing the U.S. healthcare.
Yeah.
I actually like this. This is one of my favorite songs.
I do like this song as well.
You call this a criminal rash?
No, I call it a lie. There's two. He's got a guest
vocalist.
Scott Wade from. Oh boy, I can't remember what band he was from. Maybe Alex is on Fire. I can't remember what.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Alexis on Fire, Alex. I can't remember what band he's from.
But he's from a different band.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we also learn, in this song that the protagonist is terminally ill.
Oh.
That's how it pertains to the concept album,
even
the
though
concept of the album. But
even though it kind of takes a break from the being more narrative driven.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. But anyway, I like that song. On to chapter 3 of the album. It's called Fight Fire with Fire. Oh, let me skip back just a little bit.
Okay.
Because now what you said about track number 6 makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Because in that song, we find out that it is his best friend that is cheating on his wife.
That's what I was trying to ask you. Who is it?
I know. I thought, for some reason, I was remembering it incorrectly, and I thought that we found it in a later song. But whenever I
thought it was pretty. From what I remember, it's pretty clear. And I knew I couldn't trust you that it's his best friend. Yeah, from growing up.
And whenever I looked down at my notes, I was like, when are we gonna find out that it's his best friend?
Because in the song, I knew I couldn't trust you. He talks about them growing up together and being kids, and then how now everything's changed.
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't trust you.
So anyway, we learned that his best friend is cheating on his wife with him.
Not cool. That breaks the bro code.
It does.
And just the code of life.
It's just not a good move. It's what some people call a not good move to make.
Yeah. Remember when in The Office when Michael Scott was the other guy?
Yeah.
He was the mistress?
Yeah, he was the mistress, yeah.
Oh, man.
That was funny.
Classic Michael Scott.
Classic Michael Scarn.
But what, so we've cleared up track number 6.
Yes.
Back to whatever.
Now we're on to chapter 3.
Yes.
Fight Fire with Fire.
Oh, so the fire that the first fire that he's referring to that he wants to fight is the cheating wife with his best friend.
Oh.
So what will he fight that fire with?
I don't know.
But
he's going to fight fire with fire.
So you decide.
Is it going to be a metaphorical fire? We'll see.
I don't know, but I do know.
I don't know, but I do know. On to track number 8, which is called A Shipwreck in the Sand, the title track.
A little monologue-y at first, right?
It is a little monologue-y.
Is it a poem that they wrote? Or a monologue they wrote?
It's not, yeah, I think so. It tells a story about
like an old type story, right?
A ship and a captain going to try to find new lands and prosper.
There once was a captain of a ship. He's like, it's like really like him like telling like a dramatic story.
It's like the narrator of a play comes out before the play starts or something like that to set the scene.
And he's doing that narration over top of music, I believe.
Yes. Yep. It's not just a cappella.
Correct.
But anyway, we learned that in this analogy or metaphor, the captain is him, the protagonist, and the crew is his best friend and his wife, who eventually revolt against the captain because they don't like him anymore.
Mutiny.
They think he's stupid now,
and they're just gonna wreck that ship. Into the sand.
Yeah.
What is the ship metaphor for his life? Their lives.
Their lives. Yeah. Their lives together.
Their life will crash
into the sand.
Crash. Land ho! Or he could say, protagonist wife ho!
Oh my god,
man. Classic.
Oh man.
Oh, how we wow.
That was pretty good. Anyway, on to my last recommendation, which is track number 9. I Am the Arsonist.
Oh, I didn't know you would recommend this one. It's heavy.
It's heavy, but I like the plot twist.
Yeah. But also the guitar line's really cool.
Yeah.
It
is heavier, but I still like it a lot though.
Same Z's.
We find out that the protagonist was the one who set his own house on fire.
Hence the title, I Am the Arsonist.
Yeah, to try to kill his wife. But as we all know from the first song,
they didn't die because he rescued them.
because he rescued them.
Why did he rescue them?
Curious.
Very curious.
Very curious. Maybe it relates to track number 10. That's called You're All I Have.
Mm-hmm.
In which he becomes to feel regretful for what he's done. And so he realizes that she is all that he has. Basically.
Is he singing about his wife or his daughter?
I think it's maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, I always maybe suspected a little bit of both.
But I think maybe more about the daughter.
Yeah. Because if you refer back to the first song, he's almost singing to his daughter. He's like, I had you over one shoulder or whatever, and I had the devil on the right. So
no, he said, I had you over one shoulder and the angel on the other.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, so I had the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
So he was angry with the wife, but loving the daughter.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's a song about how she's all that like he has or he's living for, so he went back in to save
Can't burn that
her,
to the ground.
And I guess he saves his wife, too.
I guess so.
Guess so. Anyway, on to chapter 4 of the album, which is called Death and Taxes. Track number 11, I don't really like it. It's another song that doesn't really fit into the theme of the album.
What's it called?
It's called We Are Not the World. And it's basically just criticism of the government and how they spend money.
We are not the world.
I believe that's how it goes. We are not the world.
Remember that song? We Are the World? It was like the song that all the famous people sang on.
Oh, yeah.
Like Live Aid or whatever it was.
For the Coke commercial?
We are the world. No, it wasn't a Coke commercial. It was like, I think it was like an AIDS benefit or something.
Probably, yeah.
No, definitely. Bono was on it.
Oh, yeah. Then it definitely was.
Like so many. It's always that one where like they have a. If you look on the internet, like watch a video of it, there's an ensemble singing a chorus, and Bob Dylan's in the background singing, but he like looks like he's like.
Oh yeah,
doesn't know what's going on. He's like swaying back and forth, and he looks
kind of angry and like.
He just looks like confused as to why he's there. Yeah. But he's doing it because he's a good guy.
That's hilarious.
But anyways, back to We Are Not the World.
Yeah. That's all. Just about the government and how he doesn't like how they spend money on war, specifically.
Yeah. Gotta get those political shots in, my man.
Yeah, I guess so.
We are the world.
On to track number 12. Track number 12 is called A Hero Loses Every Day. This song is about the trial. He's like on trial for
burning down his house and attempted murder, perhaps?
Yeah, attempted murder, perhaps. But we learned that there was not enough evidence to convict him, so he's let free for today. But we also learned this song that he's fairly close to death now with his terminal illness.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if he goes to jail or not. He's coming close to the end.
Yep.
I wonder if his wife knew that he was terminally ill.
I don't know. That's a good question.
When she decided to shack up with his best buddy.
I mean...
If so, that's a pretty low blow.
That's a really low blow.
Yeah.
Maybe she thought she could get away with it and that he would never find out. And that he would die happy.
Maybe she just didn't know and she was in an unhappy... Maybe he got depressed when he learned that he was terminally ill.
True.
And detached from their relationship and pushed her away, perhaps.
Could be.
You never know.
I guess that's kind of what the purpose of the whole theme is, that you can expand the story on your own.
You can, but also I believe that the story is told from the protagonist's side as well, so you aren't going to get the other people's perspectives.
So it's left open.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to track number 13. Boring. Well, it plays its role though. It's just a
what's it called?
It's called The Tide Raises Every Ship. And it's an instrumental that leads into the last song.
I skipped this one. Unless I'm playing the record, I skipped this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
It is. They put it there for a reason, just to give you time to think about things, I suppose, or a time to draw upon a certain idea or emotion. There's reasons for instrumentals. I just don't know it.
Yeah. And that brings us to the last track number 14, called, appropriately, The End.
Yeah, and it's... a slower, more
relaxed,
emotional, and somber.
Yeah.
No screaming, or is there screaming? I can't remember.
No screaming.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But it's probably the most different sounding song on the album.
It definitely is,
other than the instrumentals.
I'm confused as to the ending of the song, because basically the protagonist like tells his wife the truth that he tried to kill her. And then he's like, but I still love you. Do you love me? And she's like, yes, I still love you. And so I don't know. They get back together at the end. I don't even know.
Hey, they turn that ship around, my man.
They let the tide rises every ship.
Yeah. You get it now?
Every relationship.
Oh. So yeah, it's...
That makes sense. It's a turn in the opposite direction from the rest of the album. But
agreed. And I cannot tell a lie. Whenever you recommended Animal Collective and I was not happy about it, I decided this album because I was like, Jesse probably won't like this album. So I recommended it out of spite, even though maybe you found some rewarding aspects in the album. I don't know.
Yeah, I probably won't listen to it again.
That's fair enough.
Well, I guess I'll put it this way. If I had to choose, let's say, 20 albums to bring with me on a road trip, I wouldn't choose this one.
Fair enough. Did you hate it in the end? Okay.
No, I didn't hate it in the end. I liked it more than I thought I was going to.
But it's definitely not your cup of tea.
No. I've never really been a fan of the heavier metal screaming.
Yeah.
Even when I was in high school, my buddy Zach would always listen to like heavy metal and like death metal. And he'd be like, check these guys out, Jesse. They're called Goat Whore.
Oh, hey, I know them.
And I'd be like, okay, sounds good.
Okay.
And they would play it and I'd be like, I don't like this.
I think Justin always showed me a bunch of those bands.
Yeah.
My roommate Justin. Yeah, but I do like that album. I'll give Matt Reynolds a shout out because he's the one who had me listen to that for the first time, Shipwreck in the Sand. Shout out Matt Reynolds. Shall we move on to a much different album?
Yes.
All right, so Shipwreck in the Sand came out in 2009. I don't know if you said that or not. Did you?
I did not know.
Okay. Well, another album came out in 2009.
Oh, yeah.
Of a very different nature.
Yes.
It's an album called Merriweather Post Pavilion by the animalistic collective that is known as Animal Collective. And they are crazy.
Yeah.
It's hard to classify them.
I think normally people say experimental.
According
rock.
to Wikipedia, it's experimental pop.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I would say that. I'd say there's elements of avant-garde. I don't know.
Yeah.
Electronic, psychedelic almost, maybe sometimes.
Like experimental.
Yeah, electronic experimental. So it falls under a lot of odd categories.
Yeah.
Indie, I don't know. But anyways, this is their 8th studio album, so it's pretty well deep into their catalog.
Yeah.
And it was named after a venue in Maryland, which is where they're from.
Yep.
I guess apparently the plan was to play in that venue after this record was released, and then that idea got scrapped for a bunch of years, and then eventually they did like maybe 3 or 4 years afterwards.
They played there eventually.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool, but I guess the idea was to release this album and then play there shortly thereafter. But, you know, it happens. And this is a release that they put out after their guitar player decided to take some time off.
Yeah.
And apparently he's been like their longtime guitar player, but he's only on like 5 of their studio albums because he takes time off frequently, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So they had to write music that wasn't guitar driven or even had guitar at all.
Thus the electronicness of this album.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Not that that's a bad thing. I like Ben Folds. But anyways, like I mentioned, for the reason why I recommended Shipwreck in the Sand by Silverstein for Jesse, I have heard Animal Collective in the past from Jesse. We were in college, and you're like, check this out. And you put it on the speakers, and I was like, oh, dear Lord, make it stop. So without further ado, I'll delve into Merriweather Post Pavilion.
All right, sounds good.
It took me a long time to settle with this, man.
Yep.
All right, track number 1, which is called In the Flowers. It's my recommendation. First recommendation.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, your only recommendation.
I gave no ratings.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to rate some songs very low.
Okay.
No ratings. Just I gave 3 recommendations and 1 honorable mention.
Okay. I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer.
And Jesse is not saying to all of you that he is a dancer. He's referencing this song.
Yeah.
This seems to either be about like euphoria of a short-lived love fling or about psychedelic drugs.
Probably psychedelic drugs.
Hard to tell because it definitely clouds the meaning there.
Yeah.
But he is talking about loving a dancing girl, a girl who dances.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of imagery that makes you think that he might be tripping on drugs.
Yeah.
With this girl, or maybe there's no girl. Hard to tell.
Yeah.
It is hard to tell. Maybe he's at a rave. I don't know. But anyways, during the verses and like in the intro, there's this really cool ominous arpeggio that almost sounds like a guitar, but it's probably some type of string keyboard instrument, like maybe a harpsichord or something.
Yeah.
But it just sounds really cool. And that's my favorite part of the song. That with the vocal melody over top. But eventually that disappears and the song opens up into the chorus and I don't like it anymore. Like when it gets really big, I don't like it.
Oh, really?
It's a nice counterpoint to the softer ominous sound. Yeah, that's the part I like.
Oh, that's
sounds
what you
creepy.
like.
I like that the ominous arpeggios in the beginning of the verse. When it opens up and gets like boom, 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 boom.
Oh yeah, more like a rave.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, why is this here?
Yeah.
But eventually that intro part comes back, that guitar, or not guitar, that harpsichord arpeggiated part. But you know, I think this might be the most different sounding song on the album, actually, also.
Interesting.
Just strange to have it up front.
Yeah.
So I would say that sound-wise, it's not a good representation of them, but for difference and feeling-wise, it is, if that makes sense.
Let me say one thing.
Don't say anything about their repetition yet.
I won't.
Okay.
I'll just say that whenever I first listened to this album, I also didn't like it very much.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, I got into it.
Fair enough.
So
I didn't hate it after a while.
Okay. Anyway, continue.
All right, on to track number 2, which is called My Girls.
Mm-hmm.
I think this might be perhaps their most popular song.
One of them, yeah.
On Spotify,
one of the
most played, I know that.
The most well-received in the public.
Mainstream success.
Mainstream success, yeah.
And this whole album was a mainstream success.
Yeah.
It was on the Billboard Top 200. I think it was broke like the top 20 maybe.
Really?
I think. Don't quote me. I could be wrong. But anyways, My Girls, track number 2. This song is specifically about the wife and daughter of the singer, I believe. One of the singers. I think there's 2 vocalists.
Someone, yeah.
His name is Noah Lennox, but he goes by the AKA of Panda Bear.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you, a furry? No, there's...
they all have weird names.
They all have pseudonyms to their legal monikers.
Yep.
So he's Panda Bear. Like everyone else has their own names, and they have reasons for why they've got their titles, but his is Panda Bear. This song is about how he doesn't need anything like material in life except for his mind, his body, and his wife and daughter. Those are the things he needs.
4 walls.
Yeah. And there's that line like where he's talking about, I don't seem like I don't care about material things.
Yeah.
Like a social status.
Like a social status,
So I think he's trying to say, like, I don't want to sound pompous by saying I don't need those. I just don't think I need them.
Yeah.
This, I think, is the first song where they really take melodic vocal lines and scratch the idea of a vocal melody in favor of vocal patterns.
Yep.
As a tool to add to the song in layering.
Yeah.
And that's going to come back time and time again in this album. So instead of having like a line that you sing over and over again, it blends into the layering of the song.
Yeah, and they do that with multiple voices in some of the songs.
Yes, multiple voices and harmonies. That's just this repeating line, this like a repeating lyric line, a repeating melody over top of that, and it just goes over and over and over again. Yeah, and it's meant to be a part of the orchestration, almost like a classical song. Like if you look at a Bach song, they repeat tons of lines.
Yeah, oh yeah,
and it's part of the
inverted melodies and
it's part of the composition.
Yeah.
So I think that's the tool they're using here.
And so if you remember correctly, I got into this when we were in college.
I do remember.
And I believe it's when we were learning about atonal music.
Oh, I hate atonal music.
Which I liked. And so I think that's part of the reason why I got into them because...
But you also like the dubstep in its purest form.
Yeah.
And some more electronic music, which
true.
is drawn out sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what I have trouble getting into those type of songs.
And some of these songs are on the long side.
Yes.
At over 5 minutes.
Yeah. Not grossly long, but
yeah.
There's nothing over 6 minutes, I think, but there are definitely over 5 minute songs.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next track is called Also Frightened. This song is another song about parenthood. I like how he talks about his daughter in the last song. This one he's talking about his 2 kids, because I guess he had another kid after he wrote the previous song.
Mm-hmm.
And it's talking about being like his kid's routine, and then one like thinking, oh, like this is actually really scary. Like, how am I gonna be a parent to these kids? Yeah. And he's talking to his wife. Aren't you also frightened, as I am?
Mm-hmm.
And he repeats that line a lot. But when he repeats that line, there's a lot of cool vocal harmonies throughout this song. Even earlier, there's some cool vocal harmonies.
Are you also frightened? But yeah, I like all of them.
This one's meh to me.
Okay.
But the next song isn't.
Oh.
The next song is Summertime Clothes.
Summertime Clothes.
I recommended this one.
It was a good song.
This was like, as soon as I listened to this album the first time through, this is the first song that I did not dislike immediately. Okay. I won't say hate because I don't think I hate any of these songs.
Yeah.
I just like to say the word hate.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything inherently bad with any of these music. It's just not my aesthetic per se.
Yeah.
But I did not dislike this song immediately.
Yeah, it was a good song.
It's very much more melodic as a song, like as a pop tool instead of a layering technique, I would say.
Yeah.
Not to say that he doesn't layer his melodies. This song is about a strong romance during the blistering and uncomfortable heat of summer. And when I say like the uncomfortable, he's talking about like the sweat in his sheets and how like he's got the AC's blasting, but there's no, like, it's not doing anything, and how they have to go outside and sweat together or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just about being in love in the summer, and it's really hot out.
Yeah.
Just put it in a nutshell, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
There's a really cool driving drum beat and a synth pattern in the song. But I really like that just you. I like that line, and that synth pattern doodly 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 doodly. It's really, really quite catchy, and I was like, okay, this song would be. I wish more songs were like this on this album, but that's fine.
Just you part, they go like halftime.
Yes, just
yeah.
Because earlier in the album they do the 4 on the floor, like the boof boof boof.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is a catchy song. That's why I recommended it.
Yeah.
And moving on to track number 5, which is called Daily Routine.
Daily Routine.
Before I say anything, just an FYI, most people, their daily routine is monotonous and boring. Just throwing that out there.
Yep.
Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
So if they're going to have a song that's about daily routines... No, I'm just kidding. This song is literally about his daily routine, about like waking up, not wanting to wake up, but his alarm wakes him up, going to get his kid, getting them ready to go out to the park or whatever, like put him in the stroller, blah, 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 walking down the street.
Yeah.
So he does that whole spiel and then does it again. Mm-hmm. So he does the entire, I don't know if there's verses or chorus in the song. I'm just going to call it a verse.
Okay.
He does the one verse from waking up to taking his kids to the park, and there's a lot that happens in between there. And then when that ends, starts over again, does the whole thing again. Mm. So his daily routine happens over and over again because it's a daily routine.
Yeah.
But the big change is it's at the end of the song when it goes into more of like a weird dreamlike state.
Yeah.
And he only repeats the first line where he's like, I just need one more sec in bed.
Yeah.
Sec, short for second. Yep. And it like he repeats that, and it almost sounds like the alarm clock's going off, but it's like dreamy state, and he just repeats that line super slow. Yeah, that's weird, but kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's weird organ part at the beginning of the song too.
Yeah.
Bring, bring, bring. And it's really fast.
Yeah.
So like I'm assuming they played that. I don't know if they played that live or if they programmed it, but if someone played that live, it's pretty technical.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, but other than that, I've got nothing else to say, so let's move on to the song Bluish. This song is about physical love with his wife.
Yep.
And it is pretty sexual in nature.
Yes.
It can get pretty graphic depending on how you interpret it.
Yeah.
Or not. Your call.
Either playful or graphic.
Yeah, I think both. This song, like the feel of the song is dragging almost, and it almost sounds like you're underwater.
Yeah.
If you listen to it again, like you're under bluish water. What? No, I don't know. Maybe.
Did you watch the music video for this one?
I had most of the time I listened to this on Spotify, but at one point in time I did have the YouTube playlist that had all the music videos in it. And so I saw all of the music videos, but I don't remember which ones go to which songs.
This one was like the human type figure in like a weird blue and black pattern, just like...
Oh, yeah, it was weird.
Just like waving their arms around.
All of their videos are very trippy.
Yeah.
Just check them out sometime, you guys, or go to our website. We always put links for the music, and we'll post the link that has the one with the music videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, this song's weird.
It is pretty strange.
Moving on to
I like it though.
Track number 7, which is called Guy's Eyes.
Guy's Eyes.
I honorably mentioned this song.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, the song is literally about Guy's eyes, about how his eyes wander to other ladies, even though he's married.
Yeah.
And how his body's telling him to, ooh, I got these urges to go hit on that girl because she's attractive.
Yeah.
It's like, but I love my wife. I should be directing all this attention to her.
Yeah.
It's like, but I want to do what my body wants me to do. I got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's honest. It's pretty honest.
Yep.
This song's much more faster paced than the last song. I really like when he repeats "need her" like 1,000 times.
Need her.
Scratch that.
Need her.
Not 1,000 times.
Need
like a
her.
million times.
Need her.
Need her.
Need her.
Need her. Need her. Need her.
Need
And it's just over and over again with so much layering.
Need her.
But then it builds up and builds up,
Yeah.
and then kind of fizzles out and has this nice melodic pattern.
Yeah.
But it's a cool song. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it enough to honorably mention
There you go.
Yeah. But I do not hate this one either. I don't hate any of the songs, but yeah. Anyways, moving on to track number 8, which is called Taste.
Taste.
Tasty.
I like this song a lot.
It's not talking about tasting food. Let's be honest, guys. It's about
like
judgment about
taste,
people's
as
taste
like
in
taste in things.
things. Yeah.
Like what you do, I guess.
Yeah, it's about judging people's taste.
Yeah.
He uses clothing a lot, I think, as a metaphor for people's taste, like
Yeah.
wearing things and all sorts of stuff. But the one big line that he says, it might be one of the first lines he says, but he definitely repeats it at the end a ton of times. It's, am I really all the things that are outside of me?
Yeah.
So what you surround yourself with, which are reflective of your taste, is that really all that you are, or is there more to you?
Right, yeah.
So it's a nice contemplative thing to think about.
I really, really like that line a lot.
The first time I heard it, I thought it was, am I really all the things that are inside of me? And in my head I was like, yeah.
Yeah, like your organs and whatnot.
No, and also how you, everything in your mind.
Like mental state. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, everyone's made up of their own organs, let's be honest. But I meant like you don't know what's going on inside me, bro.
Inside me, man.
This is a real me.
Am I really all the things that are outside of me?
That's not the harmony of it, you know.
But I complete myself without the things I like around.
To me, the song's, it's not bad, but not enough for me to
I like it a lot.
Mention it. Moving on to Lion in a Coma, which is track number 9, and it's great imagery because what do you think of when you think of a lion in a coma? Like this big beast. The lion is the big beast of Africa, the big mane and the
yeah.
I can't do that.
Roar.
Like when I was at the Pittsburgh Zoo recently on my last trip to Pittsburgh, I don't know why I went to the zoo. My mom suggested it, but it ended up actually being a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And there was 2 male lions, and one was asleep on his back with his legs in the air.
Really?
Living the dream, because they sleep a lot, lions do. And one was over top of him looking into the distance, and he let out a huge roar, and it sounded like a truck. It was so loud. I had a hard time believing it came from a lion, a lion. And so to have that powerful beast in a coma is like, oh, what a waste, because it's got all this stuff to it's got all this power and it's majestic, and now
I see what you're getting
in a coma. So that's the imagery they're going for.
Yeah.
In the song, they're talking about a person who's got all of this expression and energy inside that they want to put henceforth, but they're too cowardly to do so.
Yeah.
And so they're the proverbial lion in a coma.
Yeah.
So I don't really
care
too much.
What's the use of lion in a coma?
Lying
in a coma or lion.
So there's some wordplay there for sure. I like the message in the song a lot, but musically I don't care for it as much. It sounds like a didgeridoo.
It sounds like you're in a jungle.
Yes, because it sounds like that didgeridoo mixed with a jaw harp.
Yeah.
And it's a weird sound, but yeah, that's
you're right about the jaw harp mixed with that.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
But it's interesting. It's worth checking out just because
I like
it's interesting. Very different. Moving on to the next song, the penultimate track, number 10, is No More Runnin'.
No More Runnin'.
This is another slow, dreamy sounding song. And it's meh to me. I think it's about no more running, don't run off and have adventures. I think it's about settling down with your significant other. Mm-hmm. Did you it's like spending less time with your friends?
Could be that, yeah.
But it could be other things too. That's just what I think.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything else to say about that. Moving on to the last song, which is my last recommendation.
Oh.
It's called Brother Sport. And this was the song I liked the most upon the first time listening to it. But this song is too long, even though I it's probably my favorite song on the album, but I still think it's too long. It's almost 6 minutes long, but it's too long. They really use the repetitive phrases in this song, like the open up your throat to make a sound or express yourself. But this song is literally to his brother.
Really?
Because his and his brother's father died of brain cancer or some type of cancer. And so this song is to comfort his brother, saying, like, I know you're sad, I know you're depressed, but you got to open up your voice and express yourself, like, say what's on your mind. And so it's like a really kind of powerful message that in this really positive, upbeat song that's about like comforting someone in the time of like a great loss.
Interesting.
Which that's also why I really like this song, is that message. And they repeat Brother Sport later on in the song, which the first time I heard it, I thought it was Your Mother's Porch. But it's not. He's saying Brother Sport. But also, he's not even really saying Brother Sport. If you look up the lyrics, he's saying support your brother.
Yeah.
Support your brother.
Support your brother. Support your brother.
So it's support your brother. So it's like support your brother. Which is awesome. Like he's propping up his brother in their time of need. But he repeats that phrase so much. Like, he beats it to death. Like, if that was a lion, he beat it on the head till it was in a coma.
Yeah. Classic.
But it's really catchy.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know. I thought it was a good way to end the album on like a upbeat
really
note.
Positive note.
Even though it's like a really weird, like kind of pseudo sad, but like really powerful message in that song.
Yeah.
All in all, I don't really like this band that much.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I listened to the album. I do not think I will listen to more of their music because it took me so long to get into this. I don't want to say it would be a waste of my time to listen to the rest of their music, because I think that's a very negative thing to say. Yeah. And I don't think that listening to music in general is a waste of time.
Yeah.
But I think I would really need to put forth a lot of effort to get into any more of their music.
Right.
And I would rather put that effort into other music.
Gotcha.
Which, nothing wrong with it. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm sure if I spent 3 to 4 weeks listening to another one of their albums, I could get into it.
Yeah.
I would really have to sink that time into it.
It takes you a little bit too long to get into their music.
Yeah. So I don't hate this album. Definitely not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So it's been a learning experience for both of us this week.
Yeah, it sure has.
Moving on to next week, it is going to be episode number 55. And as you all know from episode 44, 33, 22, 11, or whatever they are, with repeating numbers, we do episodes of bands that we're repeating.
Yes.
So I'm going to recommend an album for you that you've already reviewed from the same artist.
Yes.
And you'll do the same for me.
Yep.
So I am going to recommend a band from I'm the Avalanche. As you recall.
An album?
Yes.
From I'm the Avalanche?
From I'm the Avalanche.
Yeah.
The album that you reviewed before was called Avalanche United.
Yep.
You're going to review the album that came out after that called Wolverines. Which is the first album I listened to by them.
Okay, cool.
You know at least one song on there called The Shape I'm In.
Yes, yeah.
Love that song.
That's a good song.
Such a good song.
And you'll be listening to a Decemberists album.
What?
I believe, unless I'm mixing the title up, it's What a Beautiful World, What a Terrible World. Either that or it's What a Terrible World, What a Beautiful World.
So either way, it's Beautiful or Terrible World.
Yeah, Beautiful World, Terrible World, yep.
Interesting.
Good album. This is the start. This album is kind of the start to where they're going less folky and more, they're going in like a different direction.
Like, I know in their most recent album, there's definitely some electronic stuff that happens.
And
a little more.
That album came out in 2017 or 2018?
The most recent one?
Yeah, 2018.
It might have been 2018. It was either that or late 2017. I can't remember.
Because this one came out in 2015.
Is it the?
I can't remember if if this one that I recommended is the most recent besides the newest one.
Who knows? We'll figure out before the next episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be what we'll be reviewing for you all next week.
Oh yeah.
And then following that, we're gonna do a couple one-offs just to take a little break.
Yeah.
Give ourselves a breather.
Yeah. And because I'm going to a wedding at some point in the near future, but maybe by the time this episode comes out, that will already have passed.
Anything else to say about your beer? Is it held up the
whole
time?
It's still really good.
Yeah, I think a good German beer should hold up over the length of the drinking.
Yeah. Over about an hour of drinking it still tastes the same.
Mine doesn't taste as crisp as before. It still tastes aggressively hoppy.
Yeah.
I think the cold, when it was really cold, it added that crispness to it.
Okay.
Which I actually like the crispness more than when it warmed up. but the flavor is still really solid. It's really aggressive, like West Coast hop style.
Yeah.
It's good. I would get this again.
Did you ever get that minty flavor that I got?
I didn't. I looked for it. I don't know what you were tasting.
I don't know what I was tasting either.
I don't know. Maybe your dinner contributed to something.
Could be.
Who knows? It has an effect. Beer pairings with food is very important.
Very true.
As we learned from that one episode with Hollow Point.
Yes.
Tyler, the Cicerone, says that pairing beers with foods is very important to the palate.
Yep.
I'd like to check in with those guys sometime.
See how they're doing. Yeah. I think they're making a Gozer right now.
Yes, they are with
with Urban Chestnut.
Urban Chestnut. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, that'll be good.
It'll be good.
It will be nice.
Anyways, we're gonna finish our beers and sign off.
Yep.
But like we always say on American Brews and Tunes,
shibbity-beep-doo!
Once again, my name is Steven Johnston.
And my name is Jesse.
Pause.
Titus.
And this is American Brews and Tunes. Thank you guys. We'll see you all next week. JK, we won't see you. You won't see us.
You'll hear us next week.
Exactly.
Here's a theme song. You know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity-beeby-da.